Guys, Deluded Guna, YouTube's N'Golo Kante, Mr. Sauce on Spill. Let's get into it. Arsenal versus BATE or whatever, the Europa League fixture. Apologies if you see my face is slumped. I know it's like I'm talking on one side like I have a jawbreaker in my mouth. Like I said, it's evening time. In the morning, I went to the dentist. It was hell, man. Those of you who know about root canal treatment and stuff like that, it's hell and it hurts and the anesthetic is wearing off now, but I can still feel it. So if I look a bit silly, I apologize. Those of you that are mature enough know what it means. I look like the Joker or something right now. But yeah, man, let's continue. Now, it's not nobody knows that much about the Belarusian side. I mean, who watches Belarusian league? But what I have managed to pick out, I'll firstly talk about. Yeah, my face looks so weird. But I'll firstly talk about the pitch. Now, we don't know if the pitch is good, if the pitch is bad. You have to be very pessimistic on these, because when you typically go to these sort of places, it's not the best of pitch. So it's important that hopefully we come away from this without any injuries or anything like that. To be honest with you, it's I don't know how the side are gonna get to Belarus or Minsk or wherever we're actually going. Forgive me if I've said it wrong or said the wrong thing. I did a quick look online. I'm seeing 2 hour and 55 minutes direct flights. I'm seeing some that exchange in Paris. If we assume that it's just 2 hours and 55 minutes, just call it 3 hours for the sake of it. That is a long time, and considering we played on Monday, we're gonna do this flight there. That's 3 hours there basically, 3 hours there, 3 hours back, midweek, and then we've got you got to talk about the jet lag and all of them things, and then we've got a game on Sunday. 3 games in a week. You have to be very wary of these things, and it's for that reason. I mean, I'm not too sure in regards to the personnel who should start, and that's just one factor I'm concerned about. But I'll allude to that later. Now we know we started off the Europa League strongly. We beat Cologne. If we win now, 2 wins from the first two, we put ourselves in a fantastic position to advance to the next round and things like that. It's the first competitive meeting between the actual two sides. I think it's the first time we're going to Belarus. I think the last English side they played was Everton. Everton beat them, and they beat Everton. Yeah, man. They've only lost one of their last 12 home games in Europe in the competition, and the last one was against Barcelona in Europe. Not a bad team to lose to. So we need to again. It's not the hardest of sides. It's not the most decorated of sides, but these things are there for a reason. We clearly have to respect them going to their place. They're clearly on some partisan stuff coming at home. It's clearly somewhat a fortress, and we're going to be playing away from home in Europe. For the young players, that's good. For the experienced players, they're going to need to band together and collectively be about their job today. I think they're winless in 7 in the Europa League. To be honest with you, I'm not too sure. In regards to the league, I think they sit third. They've won. They played 5 games, got 4 wins and 1 draw from the last recent bit of fixtures that I had a look at. If I talk about their players, and I've got their names here, I cannot say them names. Milanovic and Godencia. Guys, forgive me, I tried. One's a winger, the last one's a winger, and the other one's a centre half. They're players I've seen from what I looked at online and researching. If they play, they're players of interest to me. The winger is one of their best players. The centre half is good with either feet. So these are just small things we need to be aware of and things like that. I think we had the highest possession out of all the teams that played in the first Europa League fixture, and Monreal had the most successful passes. Bit irrelevant, but I thought I'd bring that to you. We need to continue that sort of work ethic and that sort of possession-based football, and have some sort and just get the result done away from home, because we need to really put this game to bed early on Brighton on Sunday. We played a game before, 3 games in a week. We've been stitched up with the fixture list. So we need to just put this game, if we can, to bed very quickly, in my opinion. We've scored in our last 11 away European ties, but we've only what was it? We've only kept 2 clean sheets. So that's something I'd like to see change against BATE. Or whatever, however you say the name. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Ideal world. Oh my word, my face is slumped. Ideal world, we win 3 or 4. Again, you expect the unexpected, but ideal world, win 3 or 4. If we're playing the experienced players, take them off after a certain period. Now, because of there's many different reasons, and this is probably the hardest 11 I've had to pick for any game, and it shouldn't be, because there's many different things. When you factor in we're playing 3 games in a week, you factor in certain players are coming back from injury, certain players haven't completed 90 minutes, certain players they want to stay on the pitch, certain players they don't. I wouldn't say they're low on confidence, but they're our best player in the side, and they're a shadow of their former selves. So if they play and score, it will give them some confidence going into the weekend. And then you've also got to factor in the flight times there and back. Like I said, we play on Monday. obviously on Wednesday or whatever, we're going to fly over there. That's 2 hours there and 2 hours back after the game, or 3 hours there and 3 hours back, whatever, after the game. That's 6 hours in total, plus all the travel time from the airport, all of them things. Then the Friday, you'd like to think that the team's going to have the day off. Those of them that want to go into training camp, but you'd like to think it's the day off. Saturday, a training session, whether it's light training, whether it's training or whatever. Then Sunday is the match day. So we need to rotate the side, and it's come early that this rotation thing has happened, and we really got to manage the side best. So in that regards, in between needing to get a result and needing to rotate and think about other games, I've tried to pick a first team 11. Yeah, on one hand, I also believe that you've got to play what's in front of you. There's no point looking to Brighton at the weekend if you're playing BATE on Thursday. Yes, the league is more important, but you can only play what's in front of you, and it's somewhat disrespectful to the opposition. And like you've seen with Arsenal and other teams, things like that come back to bite you on the bum if you mess around, to be honest. So for me, I've got it here. I've got Ospina in goal. Bring Mertesacker back into the side because Chambers isn't back until the international break. If not Mertesacker, then Mustafi. But I've got Mertesacker holding on the right. I think Monreal's done enough to retain his space in the side. Like I said, if Chambers wasn't injured, I'd bring him in. I guess you could play Mustafi, but Monreal's one of them you could probably get away with, probably play again and be good for it. And yeah, man, Monreal's cool, so play Monreal. But again, like I said, he got 90 minutes on Monday. If he gets 90 minutes in Europa League and then plays on Sunday, it's a big ask, and he will be able to do that because there's enough time to rest and stuff. But you're increasing the risk of injuries and things. But I'm not a physio, so forget that. That's the back three. I've got Maitland-Niles on the left, but I'd like to play him in midfield. But because of the midfield options, Maitland-Niles on the left, Nelson on the right, / Bellerin. Because again, like Monreal, it all depends on Bellerin. It really all depends on the 90 minutes and what Wenger sees and things. And I'm seeing a case to start Bellerin because ultimately we want to make it 2 wins from 2. But on the other hand, I need to think about the Brightons. I have to think about the game we've just played. So yeah, I've gone with Reiss Nelson and Maitland-Niles on the flanks and at fullback purely because the experience they'll gain away from home, a partisan atmosphere, away from home in a different country, foreign environment, you can't buy that. You can only tell someone so many times about certain things, but if they see it for themselves, their memories will last a lifetime. So them two on the flanks. Wilshere was on the bench against West Brom. Obviously, he didn't come on, so I'd like him to get another 90 minutes on Thursday. Possibly push to start or actually get off the bench and get some Premier League minutes against Brighton. Elneny, I think, keep his space in the side. Ramsey and Xhaka have played a lot of football. It's a chance to rest them. Or I'd actually like to play Maitland-Niles there as well, to be honest. If it's not Elneny, Maitland-Niles, and we sort out the left-back stuff. Who is going to play there, I don't know. You could actually play Jay Da Silva there or something, just run that. Or just play midfielders and play with wingers. But yeah, Maitland-Niles there on paper. Elneny and Wilshere in midfield. Nelson on the right. In the 10 role, because he's been injured and he didn't play that much minutes against West Brom, but you could argue he needs to be rested for the game against Brighton. I've got Ozil starting. Now you could swap Ozil for Iwobi. Iwobi wasn't involved in any capacity against West Brom. Iwobi was decent in his last game. He's somewhat unlucky to actually get dropped after the good showing against Chelsea. He could get a run out. Obviously, I just said Ozil's was injured, so he could get some minutes. But at the same time, the flight business I'm talking about, guys, the 3 hours there, the 3 hours back and things. Ozil's one of our key players. He's just come back from injury. Maybe he can afford to miss the trip. I don't know. I've got Giroud through the middle, up front, obviously. And I've got Theo Walcott, who needs games. Obviously, there's no Welbs and players like that, so there's no point. Yeah, there's some other guys you could bring into it. But yeah, that's my starting lineup. I've actually got Slash next to Theo Alexis, based on the fact that it's a game we still need to win. Make it 2 from 2. We cannot disrespect the opposition. Alexis, he hasn't scored this campaign in the league, I believe. So, he gets that, he puts a smile back on his face because he is playing well, but he's not playing with that smile on his face. And with that, I think he's a shadow of his former self. So if he scores, gets the confidence back in himself, and then we can continue for this very year at least. Like I said, it's hard. There's a case to start Iwobi. There's a case to start Bellerin. Bellerin and Nelson, it's a toss-up. Iwobi and Ozil is a toss-up. What we do at left-back is a toss-up. Wilshere's a definite in midfield for me, but whether it's Elneny or Maitland-Niles, depending on who plays at full-back, because who is our second choice left-back, yeah. That is my side. So to recap, if I didn't say that, I make enough sense. Monreal, Ospina in goal, Monreal on the left of the back three, through the middle, BFG, holding on the right of that three. The fullbacks in Maitland-Niles on the left, Reiss Nelson on the right. In the middle, Elneny and Jack Wilshere, Ozil as well, and then up front, Theo Walcott and Giroud. So hopefully that's the team. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of this is one thing Wenger's probably going to have a headache about because there's so many different cases and reasons and angles to start certain players and rest certain players. But this is where it is. 3 games in a week. You have to use your squad. It's come early. It's not just us. The Champions League boys are playing on the weekend. On the weekend, are playing in the week as well. So yeah, everybody's side is going to be tested. No other Europa League side has got them 3 games in a week like us. It is a bit of a stitch up. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna complain, or we just have to go forward. Again, thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for putting up with my face slumping to the side. Like I said, the anesthetic still ain't worn off. Apologies for that, guys. But there's the preview. Arsenal versus BATE preview. There we go. Delete Goon, I'm signing out. Get in the comments, subscribe. Yeah.